Trilateral Commission, the Center for Foreign Relations, the Illuminati are out to get us. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, I have been asked to talk about a subject which is very near and dear to me, and that is the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States is the most unusual political document in history. The United States is the first honest-to-gosh Republican form of government. It's not considered democratic because we all don't have one person, one vote directly. We go through legislative representatives, so we're a Republican form of government. Now, Greece was Democratic or Republican for a short period of time, but they had kings who had a better idea and felt that the people having the right to run their own life is a strange idea. So really, the first real experiment was America. 1775, 6, 7, they were in Philadelphia arguing and fighting to create a nation that was free from a mother country, which was England. And they created a document which has so far lasted 200 years. Now, I don't know if the country's lasted 200 years because personally, along with me, a lot of other people, they feel that the country's gone to the dogs. But the cats are still in control. But the truth is that the Constitution is still in effect. We have a Supreme Court who's there to protect it. Now, through their decisions, they alter the interpretation of the Constitution. And that can switch based on conservatives or liberals, but the fact is the president can't change the Constitution. The Congress can't change the Constitution without an amendment. An amendment's a big deal, so we're not going to discuss amendments, but this Constitution has survived, and in all the political uphealing that goes on in the world, and even within the allegedly democratic countries of the world, they still have uphealing. They all seem to want to send their money to America. So, by definition, if the old line is follow the money, if you want to know what's happening, follow the money still comes and moves to the United States. China is becoming more and more capitalistic, but they're still not a democracy. They're a capitalistic, and they're still a dictatorship. And that may be switching away, but the Chinese are sending their money over here. Of course, we sent it to them in exchange for goods and services, and now they're sending it back because they want their children, which they're also sending to the United States, they want their children to go to school here because we have the best educational system in the world. I don't believe that we have the best educational system in the world, but the Chinese think we do because that's where they send their children. And you follow the money. The Chinese are following their money. But the other reason, which is not spoken of, is why are they sending their children to the United States? Because the United States is a democracy. And they're becoming rich capitalists. And best place to be when you're a rich capitalist is in a democracy. So some dictator can't go along and decide he doesn't like you and take away your castle and all your money. And that used to be done in England, you know. I mean, the king got mad at you, off with your head, takes all your money, gives it to his friends. I never got to do that when I was president of Toastmasters. But this form of government needs to be supported. And it only gets supported if the population as a whole is, number one, well educated, and number two, appreciates the fact that they are well educated and there's a democracy, and they put their 2 cents in. And Thomas Jefferson said all good people had to do to lose their democracy is do nothing, and they'll lose it. And there are organized groups that want to change the Constitution, and they want to put people in control that they feel are more capable of running the society than the population as a whole, because the population as a whole is a bunch of sheep. And why are they a bunch of sheep? Because these people who want to be in control are teaching the population to be sheep. Did you know that? Did you know that the whole school system is set up for you to go into corporate America if you're in college? It's not set up to be an entrepreneur. It's not set up to be a free thinker. It's not set up to be an artist. It's set up for you to go to work in corporate America for the Fortune 500 company as an employee, and you go, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, what would you like me to do? It's worse than the military. And who are these people that want to change the world? They are the money of the world. And the money always thinks that they should run the world. The other group that thinks they should run the world, by the way, is the intelligentsia. And they think that they're educated and they're smart and they can make intelligent decisions and decide how the children should be educated. But the money people of the world, they don't say that they're the most qualified to run the world. They just say, we have the money, we're going to run the world. And what do? They manipulate the intelligentsia so that they can run the world through the intelligentsia, and the intelligentsia is just other pawns, just like the general population. We need to protect the Constitution. It's the only real viable Constitution in the world. The English change governments every time they get a new legislature. The French change governments every time they sneeze. But we have some form of continuity. Even though a president only lasts 8 years, that's better than some presidents, like in Toastmasters, they throw you out every year. You don't even get 8 years to learn your job. But we need to protect the Constitution. So I ask you, keep getting educated and be involved in the voting process, and do not let the money class run you and your children and your grandchildren. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.